So today is kind of an interlude. I have a bunch of videos already scheduled to post that are already out there. They are sent to members only. So I want to kind of talk about that and a few other things. And then I want to talk about what the video is actually about. Do I actually hate Vietnam? So real quick about the members, I'm setting up a member section. I'm starting to get a lot of emails, actually a lot more than I can respond to effectively. And I'm also getting comments with a lot of the same questions. So I've decided maybe it's better. I'm still going to answer emails, of course, and I'm still going to answer the comments as I can. But I've set up a section for members where I've set 2 levels. What the idea of it is it supports the channel, obviously, but it also gets you instant access to all my videos. There is currently, the time I'm recording this video, there's 7 videos that are already uploaded and pending, waiting to post on different days. And this would give you access to all of that. What I'm gonna start doing is answering those questions in the members group. And the way they have the members spot set up, it's almost like a Reddit thing. So if you have a question about getting a job, teaching, moving to Asia, we can talk about it there. And anybody that has that question down the road, the answer's already there for them. So I want to kind of build a community of answers for a lot of people instead of redundantly answering the same questions. And I don't mind answering the questions, but I do feel that it could be such a benefit to everybody to have all those answers. With that being said, I think that answers that. So check out the join button. Check out the ebooks below if you are serious about teaching in Vietnam and you want to come out here and you don't know where to start, or if you're already a teacher out here, you're starting to feel the pressure of schools releasing teachers because of the lack of demand and the competition that's actually starting to get pretty fierce. So these ebooks will help you get ahead of those curves. With that being said, I think we're covered. Let's talk about the last part. Do I hate Vietnam? These last few months, I've been very critical of Vietnam, and I want to kind of talk about a couple of the comments. One of them was, if you hate Vietnam so much, why are you there? I looked at the video that this talked about. This was talking about traffic, actually. I hate traffic in Vietnam. I won't pull that back. People in Vietnam drive so uncivilized. It's out of control. And I hear this a lot from a lot of, especially Western older people. They're always like, well, David, cars are new in Vietnam. They've only been here for 10 years. And I'm like, what was it, the Model T or the Model Z series from Ford in Americas back in like 1940s or 30s or whatever it was, when they first had cars in America? The first time cars, we're talking nobody knew what a freaking car was until that moment. And they still knew how to drive. They were driving honking at horses and running people over them. So this debate of cars are new in Vietnam, shut up. The cars are new in Laos. Have you been to Laos? Cars are extremely new. If you go to Cambodia, all you see is that stupid Lexus SUV 8 thing because they're new there. They drive like humans. It's civilized driving. So when it comes to driving in Vietnam, I'll never pull back. Vietnam driving is so uncivilized. And it's not just Hanoi, it's Saigon. Saigon's a little better. I've noticed Hanoi, they don't drive on the sidewalk, but they drive less disrespectful, less aware. It's like the amount of people I see driving around, trying to look for a phone. I don't use my phone, but driving around with their phone in their face like this. Beep, 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 beep. Hello? Beep, beep. And it's just like, and then they hit you and they're like, they look at you for like a second because, you know, you're not worth their time. And then they honk at you again. It's like, bro, you just hit my kid, you know? And if you do anything about it, they are utterly confused. And to their defense, they were so focused on this iPhone white edition that they didn't know what even happened. They don't even know they caused an issue, right? So I stick to that. The driving out here is utter crap. What was the other one? Oh, it was about food. I'm going to keep this one short. Vietnam food is some of the most healthiest food in Asia, hands down, on paper. Vietnam food, in reality, is some of the most unhealthy food next to China. There is gutter oil in Vietnam. There is recycled broth water in pho and in hot pots. There is meat that is switched in with dog meat to save money. This all happens out here. The food, it's good to have, you know, try it out, try the flavor, but do be aware you are ideally intaking poison to an extent. So my advice to a lot of people that go home for a few months, they're like, what should I expect when I leave Asia to go back home? This is not asked a lot, but it is asked. One of them is get ready for a reverse culture shock, because going back to the West from Vietnam is a massive culture shock. Number 2, get on a prolonged fast diet for like 3 to 5 days. Like get on a water diet or do like an 18 on and 6 on kind of thing. Let your body start getting rid of all those like plastics and garbage that your body stored from Vietnam. I think Vietnam food is some of the best in Asia, no, hands down. But it is definitely some of the most unhealthiest food you'll ever have. The possibility for working in Vietnam, is it over? Vietnam did cancel, I think it was called Decree 162, 116. And what this means is all high school students no longer are required to take English as a mandated English exam or a mandated test to graduate high school. So they have their typical, I think, 3 classes and the 2 electives. Now English is now a elective. So what does this mean for you as a native or non-native teacher? It means that you're walking into a community that no longer demands you like they used to. Like the demand, it hasn't been done a lot yet, but it's starting to gradually. I'm seeing, working with a lot of schools, helping their adverts. Their biggest problem is they can't justify the service to the parents anymore, to the students anymore, because a lot of the parents are coming and saying, hey, my son's school just said English isn't required no more for a test, so can you give us a cheaper price for this English class? We don't really need it. And I've noticed a few centers, won't use names, that have started to lower the price and offer daycare services with English as a bonus. So a lot of these owners are starting to feel the pinch. Now, it's summertime, the time I record this video, and summer is about to end, the new school year starting, and a lot of government schools in Dalat, Hanoi, Saigon, and Phan Thiet, I know for sure, and Da Nang have already started removing English from their high school and secondary program classes, meaning that just knocked out your job market by 40%, give or take. About 60% of jobs out here for teaching English are in English centers. My advice for this, though, is you have to come out here above the rest. So again, these ebooks are focused on how you can get to this. It teaches you the activities that legitimately work, the ones that the Vietnamese parents love to see, the ones the schools need to see. It shows you how to build lesson plans that actually work, that the schools accept, that the schools are mandating, and it shows you how to automate them. So I can write 100 lesson plans in a couple hours at most, and I think the longest part of that process would be the actual writing. It would be the coming up with the ideas, And I have a template that you can inject into ChatGPT, write 4 words like animal, zoo, and colors, and it will print out an entire lesson plan for you on my template that will get you A to B in a classroom in a heartbeat. I wrote these lesson plans when I used to work at my very first school in Saigon, where we had 3-hour and 15-minute English classes that we had to teach 3 times a week. These lesson ideas were written for that. So if all you're doing is a 45-minute class, dude, this has got you. This is an overkill. You won't notice overkill because the format, I've redone it to match all times, but it's there. And get your CV. It needs to focus on the school. How do you make the school rich? How do you convince them that you are the best solution for their problem? Their problem is they need money, and they need to make the students happy as well as the parents. So that's what you need to do. So hopefully that answered your questions in regards to, do I hate Vietnam? In short, no, not at all. I love Vietnam. I grew up in the culture. I know more, I think, personally, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I know more about Vietnam than most Vietnamese do. I know more about the country laws, the culture. I know the legal system, I think, better than a lot of lawyers I've talked to. And that was because I did so much study when I opened my first business. And I grew up in a Vietnamese culture. I get the culture. I get why we do what we do out here. It's frustrating. It's uncivilized a lot of the time. When you see 35-year-olds like, how you doing today? How you doing today? Like stuff like that happens, and I get it. It's annoying. And most Westerners look at it like, why do Vietnamese run around picking their nose and putting their hand in weird spots and peeing on public walls, and they don't even have any shame about it. It's the culture, man. Like, this is stuff I get, so I don't hate it. Vietnam is a great spot. It's a must-visit country if you've never been to Southeast Asia. It's very different than the rest of Southeast Asia. It's literally a mirrored image of China, just less chaotic. So it's definitely worth that visit if you want to see that Chinese culture and you don't want to go to China or you don't want to go to Taiwan, which is an independent country. Hopefully I helped you out and gave you some ideas of what I think about Vietnam. Answer those 3 comments I get asked all the time. And like I said, hit the join button. Become part of the team. You're going to get a bunch of perks if you're serious about Asia, serious about teaching. And check the ebooks below for any teaching and travel advice that you need. I've written these books out and I stand by them. I update them every year. So when I do update them, you get a new link and a new book for free. It works out in your favor. So with that being said, guys, I'm out. So I will see you again.